we continue our short track swing here in the Wawa Cup Series, and we head to the paperclip. This time, under the lights. It's a Friday night showcase here for the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. 125 laps here at the Martinsville Speedway in the STP Old Dominion 500. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Martinsville Speedway here in the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. I'm looking forward to this race. I gotta tell you, we had that Sprint Series race on Wednesday night, and that was a banger. So let's double the field and quadruple the amount of laps and throw in a cycle of pit stops while we're at it as well. This is going to be an excellent race. Of course, last week at the Bristol Motor Speedway, Chase Buck led all but one lap in that race. Eric Monaco actually led a lap kind of on a technicality, but Chase Buck went wire to wire for Pacific Racing. We'll have to see if Thomas Troxel, who starts on the pole here tonight, can do the same for Brennan Wilmington's team as well. Joining alongside Nathan Stapleton for the call of tonight's event. And Nathan, we saw just how wild it was on Wednesday night. Those guys dive bombing it into the corner and sliding up the racetrack. It was all over the place. Do you think we're going to see more of the same here tonight for the Wawa Cup Series?
I think we might see a little bit of similar racing that we've seen on Wednesday night. But hopefully these guys realize that, hey, it's 125 laps, not just 32. Let's take care of that equipment a little bit. Let's not tear up as much sheet metal, but let's still put on a show. Now, I think that's what we'll see here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. A fantastic short track, a fantastic fusion, and we're in for a treat here at Martinsville, and this is going to be a wild one, that's for sure.
Absolutely. We're excited for this one. And like I said, the last time we came here to the Martinsville Speedway 2 years ago was only 100 laps for these guys. This year it's 125 laps. And unlike Bristol, where, and I mentioned this on Wednesday, where it's kind of easy to stay up front there, it's difficult to get around this place with just how much grip these guys have going into the corners. The way this track is modded is just insane, and we absolutely love it, and that's why we come to the night version of this racetrack, because the way it was set up is just amazing. I'll link the track in the description for you guys as well. I'm going to start doing that, linking the mods as well, and actually try to appreciate the people who go through all the trouble to make these great tracks and mods, and we just kind of use them, and it's like, you know what, let's give them a little credit for that. But regardless of the fact, this is going to be an interesting race, because now we got some more of those guys, those heavy hitters starting up front again. We didn't really see that as much the past couple of races. Well, they're back up front. And in the point standings, it's all Pacific Racing. Chase Buck, the points leader, by 6 points over his teammate and one of his rivals, Aliera there. Thomas Troxel, Aliera tied for second in the point standings, both 6 points behind. Nicholas Samedillo had a very tough run at Bristol, started deep in the field, wrecked down, but he starts third here tonight. He's 18 points behind. Echo Evans-Ross, she starts 18th tonight. 21 points behind for her. And might as well mention Matt Tuck and Dylan Matthews, who start on the outside rows in row number 2 and row number 1 respectively. They are 22 and 26 points behind respectively. Matt Tuck 22 behind, Dylan Matthews 26 behind. Those 7 drivers have been the 7 best drivers this season. A bit of a gap there to Stover, Vargas, and Ludovic Charette. Now, Ludovic Charette inside the chase coming into this race starts 5th. And Andrews Racing had a pretty solid run in the Wawa Sprint Series with Angel Gutierrez. He's in this race along with Skylar Taylor, Benny Moore, and Philip Torres. They advanced on from Wednesday night to make up this 40-car field. Starting on the pole position, though, as I've mentioned, it's Thomas Troxel in the number 62 for Pacific Racing, looking to get his second win of the season. Won at Rockingham about a month ago. But he started kind of midway through the field in that one. This is his first pole of the season. He's alongside Dylan Matthews in the 47, who may be one of the best rookies. Of course, that Hamill Racing Enterprises team has been excellent this season with both Dylan Matthews and Echo Evans-Ross. And Matthews, as of late, has gained a lot of great finishes here in the series. Nicholas Samedillo, Matt Tuck, a very solid row number 2 here. And I think both of these drivers are going to be a threat to win here tonight. Ludovic Charette, watch out, a bit of a wild card here in the 61 to the inside of Blaine Keys, who won 2 weeks ago at Texas. Brain Perez, the Phoenix winner, to the inside Roberto Crown Jr. I know they want a good run here for Dog Pound Incorporated. They're going to have a good opportunity starting 8th. Trey Wright to the inside of Travis Crampton. Crampton going for his second win of the season. He starts in the 10th position there for your team, Nathan, in NS Racing. Go through the field here and to see where everybody starts. You got Chase Buckler starting in the 19th position after leading every lap at Bristol, so he's got some work to do there in that 32 machine if he's going to get something to go his way. And I see some of the other guys, Sprint Series winner there of Skylar Taylor in the 45, starting deep in the field. And LJ Cemento, who's had some good runs early on in the season, he's kind of fallen behind as of late. Starts dead last, or starts in the 39th position there alongside Elijah Gordon. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here. 125 laps. Now, there is no competition caution this week, so if the race stays green, it's going to be green flag pit stops here. But the fuel window just a little bit past halfway for these drivers, so that'll be interesting. However, if we do end up with a caution, and while they're on the pit lane, we have disabled collisions, as these guys tend to bunch up quite a bit here, and we don't want any unnecessary damage on these race vehicles. Nathan, it's a solid field up front. Who's going to victory lane here tonight in the STP Old Dominion 500?
We got a fantastic field, a fantastic track, and a fantastic race on tap. I'm going to go with the number 55 of Blaine Keys. I think he will go to victory lane here.
It's a good pick there 1-2 weeks ago at Texas, but this ain't no Texas. This is Martinsville. It's short track racing at its best. We're underway on a Friday night in the STP Old Dominion 500. That was a jump by Dylan Matthews, and I'm intrigued to see how they judge that one. They actually called Bruno Diacomo on Wednesday night for jump on the line. I think Dylan Matthews is in the clear, though. Thomas Troxel got the jump initially, but just couldn't get that inside lane to work, and couldn't quite get the lead. And Dylan Matthews leading this field here at Martinsville. Thomas Troxel, Nicholas Amadio, Matt Suck, Ladovic Charette, the top five, as we got a battle here between Braden Perez and Blaine Keys. Perez won at Phoenix. He's going for his second win of the season. A lot of guys up front have won races this season, but Dylan Matthews is one of those who is not, and a great jump here to start this race off 3 laps in.
Yeah, we have to wait and see how well the outside lane will do. We saw it kind of play into a factor in the Sprint Series race, but they could get a good one and maintain and stay side by side with someone. But looks like inside lane's the place to be, and here comes the 24 of Hightower to the inside of my driver, Travis Crampton. And Crampton's going to try to get the outside lane to it, but oh my god, Joey Hightower.
That's exactly what we saw a lot of on Wednesday night with the Sprint Series guys. They were just shooting it down on that inside aggressively hard. These guys have played a little bit cleaner initially, though, and I think, like you said, with it being 125 laps, there's really no need to be too super aggressive this early on. The Brain Perez, he's trying to get something to go his way to the inside of Ladovic Charette there. Trey Wright also to the inside of the 61. But a nice clean start to this race, especially up front. Dylan Matthews, Thomas Troxel. Troxel especially a long-time veteran, but I am incredibly impressed with Dylan Matthews so far this season. Of course, he's with probably the best team in the Wawa Cup Series, at least historically. And of course, Derek Hamill, all-time winningest owner on the channel. But Dylan Matthews has had a lot of great runs as of late. Had a great run at COTA, had a great run at Texas, and backed it up pretty well at Bristol last week as well. And now he is leading this field here. He's led every lap so far, but he's kind of washing it up a little bit right there. We saw this at the end of the Sprint Series race when Skylar Taylor was out front. Philip Torres came in really quick at the end. And Troxel kind of getting a bit more of an inside lane on him, but don't count out Nicholas Amadio. He's been the points leader multiple times this season. And then we've brought his team owner, Caleb Rose, into the booth, and he's had a terrible run, basically. That happened at Rockingham and then at Bristol, where he lost the points lead. Well, he's now back up front again. But he's still going for his first win of the season here for Appalachian Motorsports. And I know that team would definitely love a rebound after what happened to him on Wednesday night. And you know exactly what I'm talking about there, Nathan. We just did that race. But they're keeping it pretty straightforward up front right now. How about Trey right there for Trinity River Racing, running in the 5th position? And then Braden Perez, Ladovic Charette, Blaine Keys, Brady Mardi Gras, and Joey Hightower inside the top 10 right now.
Joey Hightower, I should say, made a massive dive bomb in that number 21 of Roberto Clown Jr. Moved inside the top 10. And we have to wait and see what happens here. The field is starting to get single file out. calming themselves here at Martinsville Speedway, and that's nice and good to see with it being 125 laps now. The time machine trying to close in to power lead number 97.
Yeah, Chase Buck, of course, went wire to wire last weekend at Bristol, but started deep in the field. He's 17th right now, trying to work his way through the field. You know, it's still very early on in this race, so doesn't necessarily mean that Chase Buck won't win, won't get a good finish. He is the points leader coming into this race, but as they run right now, his teammate Thomas Troxel would take that lead back away from him. We had a pass for second, and we might have another pass for second. Sam Medeo and Troxel going after it for the second position, and that's good news there for Dylan Matthews, trying to pull away from these guys. Troxel and Sam Medeo going after it here for the second position. And Troxel has the inside lane right now on the 59 half out. These two long-time veterans going after it here. Hey, great to see Matt Tuck get a good run. It's been a bit of a tough run for him as of late here in the Wawa Cup Series. Neither Texas nor Bristol went his way, but top 5 run for him right now is Trey Wright bouncing back there with the 23 machine. Troxel and Sam Medeo still side by side. That's kind of allowing this 47 to pull away just a little bit there, and good news for Dylan Matthews, trying to get his first career win on the channel.
And if he wants to stay out front, this is exactly what he wants to see. But I have to give a massive credit to Sam Medeo and Troxel for putting on an amazing balance for second. And now Matt Tuck trying to make a 3-way fight for the second place spot. And this is allowing Trey Wright to catch up as well. We might have 4 or 5 drivers here all battling for second.
Yeah, they may have gotten into each other. They're 2.5 seconds off the race lead now. As Sam Medeo once again back to the inside of Troxel. They want to be the guy in second place trying to catch up to this 47. Meanwhile, just like it was at Bristol, maybe not as extreme as it was at Bristol, but lap traffic going to come into effect, and not at all. Good runs for Ali Yera, who comes into this race only 6 points behind the points leader. She is massively struggling. And Christian Master, I mean, he had such a good start to the season, and now he's really falling behind in this 43. Not entirely sure what's going on with these guys, but they have been at the back of the field past 3 races here, and it has not gone their way at all. Looks like Skylar Taylor's gotten into the wall a little bit there, but still a relatively clean race so far, so we remain green here, and we're missing a lot here for second. Matt Tuck going to move to the inside of Sam Medeo there, and Thomas Troxel for that second position. Don't count out Trey Wright here. We haven't seen much of Trey Wright this season. He's 24th in the point standings. Oh boy, 3 wide. They got to be careful here.
We saw this in the sprint series.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Oh boy, and Trey Wright overshooting there, and that may allow Troxel to get around, but Matt Tuck may actually pull away here, as it almost looked like they were 3 wide between Charette, Keys, and Hightower back in there for the 8th position. Oh, it's getting edgy out here now. How about Trey Wright? I was just about to say, 24th in points coming into this race. He's 3rd right now. But this is the team that won on Wednesday night, Trinity River Racing. I know they're putting a lot into their program, and it's definitely showing. But I know another team putting a lot into their program is Hamill Racing Enterprises. And look at this 47 already lapping Christian Master 21 laps into this race.
And this is something that is going to happen at these short tracks. We saw at Bristol, and we're seeing it happen here. This is the shortest short track on the schedule, so probably going to see it happen more often than not. And Trey Wright up to second, and Matto is not happy about that. Bumps down the way, and Tuck trying to take second away from Trey Wright like that.
Yeah, some beating and banging there for the second position. Too bad this isn't the battle for the race lead. This would be some good stuff if it were for the top position. Hey, it's good stuff regardless. These guys try to settle it down, but they're not settling it down anytime soon. Trey, caution's out. And they got to be careful. Oh, boy. Dylan Matthews in the Rogel Dorn. And Matt Tuck into the 45. And I thought we had that collision thing turned off right there. Apparently not the case, but very interesting moment right there between those guys, and an opportunity for these guys to come down the pit lane. Dylan Matthews, they have gotten a piece of that one in the 47. And then Matt Tuck also got a piece of it in the 54. So my apologies. I know I have it set on. I know I have better cautions on, but apparently they didn't listen to me there. That's a little interesting, and this could definitely affect the outcome of the race. Everyone's going to clear the pace car here. Dylan Matthews going to come down the pit lane, but he's got a bit of damage, especially on that right side right there. And I'd watch out for Matt Tuck as well, who was third at the time of that occurring. These guys will definitely have to come back down again, and they're going to also take tires here as well. So hopefully it does not affect Matt Tuck and these guys, and hopefully they don't have to spend too much time in the pit lane. The aerodynamics not really much of a factor. As long as they didn't damage the engine, they should be fine, but we'll just have to see. That 54, thankfully it did not affect the engine. All right, we're good to go. Actually, you know what? It may have affected Dylan Matthews, though. That 47, a little bit slower on the pit lane, but they're all still going to be top 10 after this. It's Trey Wright who takes the race lead away, and it looks like Allier is going to get caught a lap down along with Christian Master after all of this is said and done. So, first caution of the night here in the STP Old Dominion 500. Apparently the collisions are turned on for the cautions. I do apologize for that little hiccup right there. We may end up with quite a few guys who end up a lap down here because of the cycle. Looks like Skylar Taylor, Justin Zidell, Daniel Paulus Jr., Chris Reynolds, Elijah Gordon. There he goes. So it is on, as you can see with Yera and Vargas. They must not have called it as a caution at that exact moment. But these guys going to go a lap down here after they took extended time on the pit lane. Tough break for Justin Zidell there. Reynolds, Daniel Paulus Jr., Rogel Dorn, Elijah Gordon, Christian Vargas, and Alliera going to go a lap down. And LJ Cemento on the tail end of the lead lap as Trey Wright leads the field here at Martinsville. Okay, I think we got it all figured out. It's always like this every year here at Martinsville. Very interesting cycle there. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here at the Martinsville Speedway in the STP Old Dominion 500. Alright, Nathan, you got some explaining to do here. Benny Moore in the 80, their Sprint Series driver who advanced on Wednesday, sliding up in the Trinity Ida here. And this triggers from the exit at Turn 4 all the way to the entrance of Turn 1. That's where Dylan Matthews ends up getting caught up. We noticed that Echo Evans-Ross is now out of the race. She got caught up in this one as well. Chase Buck, I think, also accumulates damage from this. A hard hit there on Benny Moore for our last winner here. Drew Webb avoids it. This is not a good place for a wreck to occur, basically, because all these guys try to check up, and here's Echo Evans-Ross, and Benny Moore, just nowhere to go for. Right into the 80 machine. The Coda winner not going to get it done here today. Unfortunately, she's out of the race after that one. The only driver out of the race from the accident, though, so thankfully that was all that occurred. Angel Gutierrez, another Sprint Series driver, kind of up there. And then Dylan Matthews. This is where it gets a little interesting because he's the race leader here. And then you see him. I think he's going to run into Alliera here. No. Rogel Dorn. No. Yes, Rogel Dorn. And then Christian Master ran into Yera. Master was already a lap down, but Dylan Matthews just couldn't check it up in time. And like we mentioned with the better cautions, it had not triggered yet. You will see later on that it does in fact work, but it did not work in that instance. Matt Tuck got into Skylar Taylor and actually lost a position there to Trey Wright. But he did not have an extended stop on the pit lane. But very, very interesting sequence, and it's all because of your team, Nathan. It's all your fault. I'll let you explain yourself as we replay this in real time.
Well, I might have to talk to Benny Moore. Went up the racetrack into my full-time driver to Miata, and unfortunately nowhere to go for Chase Buck. Nowhere to go for Echo Evans-Ross as well, and I don't know what happened after that. Just the field got stacked up, and oh, that's what happened to the 13 ran into the back of the 80, and then Dale Matthews into the lap down cars, and just unfortunately they couldn't slow up in time, and that caused a lot of chaos. Luckily, I think Tuck will be okay, but the big question mark is what will be the result for Dale Matthews.
Yeah, he fell back to 10th. We were on the pit lane for a while, so we'll have to see what he can do there from the 10th position. Obviously, he has a fast car, but that may have affected him right there in the 47. We'll just have to see. Let's get to the restart. Your race leader is Trey Wright in the 28. A nice clean race so far, looking to get Trinity River Racing the sweep here in Martinsville. They won the Sprint Series on Wednesday. Let's see what they can do here. The STP Old Dominion 500. We're back here at the Martinsville Speedway. STP Old Dominion 500 action. It's been a lot of action here since that caution Trey Wright is now the new race leader with Thomas Troxel, Braden Perez, Nicholas Amadio, Matt Tuck, Brady Mardi Gras. Great run for him. Joey Hightower, Ludovic Charette, Roberto Crown Jr., and Blaine Keys. Dylan Matthews, I should say, fell back 10 positions on the pit lane, repair a little bit of damage there. Very, very interesting cycle. LJ Semedo on the tail end of the lead lap in the 71, and a lap down, including Skylar Taylor, Justin Zidell, Chris Reynolds, Daniel Paulus Jr., Rogaldorn, Elijah Gordon, Christian Vargas, Aliera, and Christian Master. And out of the race is Echo Evans Ross, whom I would imagine, and we have not done the replay yet, may have been the culprit of the accident. And such a tough break for her. She's had a lot of tough runs as of late after winning at Coda. And another tough run for her here at Martinsville. Not a tough run for Thomas Troxel, though. Still running strong here at Martinsville. Looking to get to the inside of Trey Wright for the race lead. Pacific Racing has some strong cars, but so does this other Toyota team in Trinity River Racing. You got Sam Adio there in third. Matt Tuck right behind. And Troxel with a nose to the inside for the race lead.
Troxel has been fast all night long, so has Trey Wright, but Troxel did start on pole. And with Dylan Matthews falling back outside the top 10, maybe Troxel can take advantage of it, but Trey Wright can't count this team out. They won the Sprint Series race on Wednesday night with Skylar Taylor, and now Trinity River Racing trying to win the Cup Series race, but Troxel going to try to stop that from happening as here comes Troxel side by side for the race lead.
Here we go, battle for the race lead here, lap 32. Lap now 33 as Troxel has the advantage there, and Trey Wright going to fall back on the outside lane, and Troxel now out front here in Martinsville. Good thing LJ Semedo's kind of pulled out ahead. He's not been in the way of our race leaders, but they might be in the way of each other. Troxel overshoots, and Trey Wright going for the crossover for the race lead here. He might dive bomb it in the one. Pretty solid run right there, and he's going to have a nose back to the inside off the exit. Good stuff here for the race lead here in Martinsville. Nicholas Samadio, watch out for him in the 59. I know he wants to go to victory lane after the great season he has had. It was a tough break at Bristol last week. He's going to go for second here on Trey Wright. Try to keep within touch of that 62. Now all these guys are still going to have to come back down the pit lane for another stop in this race. So even though they came down there on lap 25, we still got one more stop left to go for all these guys. And that's going to be itching to see how that affects the outcome of the event. Sam Adio going to clear Trey Wright. Wright trying to get back to the inside of the 59 machine. I can't quite get to the inside yet, but he's going to dive bomb it there. And they got Braden Perez trying to hang tough here with Matt Tuck. That 47. He's got a bit of a tough break there for him. A slow stop, and he's not really been able to regain his momentum here. How about Drew Webb, though, inside the top 10? Great run for him in that 99. And Trey Wright continuing the battle here with Nicholas Amadio, and that's exactly what Thomas Troxel wants to see. So these Toyotas have done an excellent job. As a matter of fact, Toyota has led every lap in this race. As Dylan Matthews drives a Toyota, Thomas Troxel drives a Toyota, and Trey Wright drives a Toyota. But they're all for different teams. As Wright gonna shoot Sam Adio up the racetrack. Oh boy, you gotta watch out for this. Matt Tuck had an opportunity. Great driving out of Matt Tuck, backing it off there. That was some smart driving, and that could win him the race later on. Sam Adio's going to really appreciate that one right there, but Braden Perez is also going to appreciate that one. He's got a nose to the inside of the 59 now for third. The problem is, the guy who's appreciating all this the most is Thomas Troxel. He's pulling away from these guys here for this race lead.
This is exactly what happened on the first green flag one of the night with Dylan Matthews. Everyone battled for second behind him, and he pulled away to that. At one point, having over a 3-second lead before top of that traffic. These guys are doing once again. And how about Braden Perez trying to get his way up to the front, trying to maybe run the race and get some KFC afterwards. And he might do it up to second now for that number 23.
Yeah, he's trying to get into the chase again as well. Of course, he's already won a race this season, so he's already a part of the wild card race. But I'm sure he'd love to be top 10 in points instead of having to go to the wild card race, because he'll get some bonus points if he's not a wild card. The two wild cards receive 0 bonus points heading into the chase, so you definitely want to be top 10 if you want to start off with at least some advantage on some of the other drivers. It looks like Perez might finally clear. Sam Adio will go for third there, and then Trey Wright. They just keep on overshooting that corner right there, and they just can't get away from each other. But Troxel's been able to do so, and Dylan Matthews.
Oh, no.
Man, this race has gone from bad to worse for Hamill Racing Enterprises, and Matthews, just wrong place, wrong time there, could not slow it down, and it had yet been the point where they triggered the no collision aspect of better cautions. That's a very interesting thing right there. It had not turned on at the moment of Dylan Matthews coming into the incident, and that is definitely going to hurt that 47. It has not hurt Matt Tuck as much, though. He's still top 5 and still very much in range to get a good finish out of this one as Sam Adio. I feel like this race is going to be between Sam Adio and Troxel. I just kind of feel it. But Brain Perez is trying to prove me wrong right here in this 23 machine. But I don't know. It may just be between Troxel the way things are going right now, but he's closing in on the back of the field here. Brian Webb, last car on the lead lap now. He's a bit off the pace there in the 13. He may have gotten a piece of that one from that accident. Troxel's got to be careful there. That was aggressive. And that might slow him down a little bit as these guys close in. Hey, you know what? Maybe a little bit of strategy right there. Brian Webb is the teammate to Braden Perez there at Team Williams, and no surprise to see him kind of try to slow down that 62 there. But Troxel will clear. Here comes Perez and Sam Adio off the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, I also agree with you. I think Troxel's definitely the fastest car here, at least now, out front and cleaner, at least somewhat cleaner. Sam Adio, though, that first green flag one was fast. Second green flag one is fast, so I think he's going to have a good shot. Perry White's going to have a good shot. William Perez is going to have a good shot. I think even with that damage, I think he might have a good one. And how about Hightower as well?
Yeah, great run for these guys. I mean, these are some guys who need good runs. Joey Hightower, Roberto Crown Jr., top 10 right now. Brady Mardi Gras, none of them have really had good runs this season. You got Drew Webb there. He's been picking up some solid runs. Had a good run at Bristol last week. Ladovic Charette, top 10. I think he also got a top 10 at Bristol. He's actually in the chase right now, running 10th in the point standings. He's been kind of quiet in that front, but a great run for him. Laura Chung, great run for her. She's 11th. Blaine Keys, Texas winner, is 12th. Travis Crampton, Brad Stover. Eric Monaco was runner-up at Bristol last week. He's 15th. Trinity Ida, Dylan Matthews now a lap down. Chase Bucks got some front-end damage, but he is still on the lead lap in 17th. Tanner Parton is 18th. Sebastian Kukalon, Zachary Fitzwater, Logan Williams. Battle here between Seth Cole and Angel Gutierrez. Sprint Series driver there in the 60. Andrew Miller in the 88. And I think Fisher G is right behind him. Benny Moore in the 80. Philip Torres in the 85, who's kind of slipping back as these lap cars get around him. And then LJ Cemento, last car on the lead lap, everybody else a lap down. After they kind of got caught at the end of that yellow flag cycle and the race leaders came back around to lap them. So that's the thing about these short tracks. We saw that happen at Bristol last week, and we saw it happen here as well. Nobody in between Troxel and Perez, but a 2-second lead for Thomas Troxel here, lap 51 of 125. He's got to be careful not to overshoot these corners too much and slam that outside wall, because that could give way to Perez and Sam Adio and their fight to get up to the 62 for the race lead.
Absolutely, and we have to wait and see if how these tires decide to wear on these machines and what ends up happening on the longer one as they're going to match up. These two have had some beef here tonight, some bumper ones already, but Tuck's going to try to get past Clear White cleanly, and just want to point something out for Brian Webb. I don't know if he was involved in the caution or in the crash, because he is really, really, really off the pace compared to the rest of the field. Because we haven't even caught to any other lap traffic besides number 13. So I don't know if he has something wrong, but way off the pace for the 13.
Yeah, there's definitely something amiss on that 13 machine of Brian Webb. Hopefully he gets out of the way as these guys pass him on the racetrack. Speaking of lap traffic, Thomas Troxel closing in on Christian Master again. Of course, Master a lap down. I'm surprised with Allier. She had a couple of great runs at Texas and Bristol. Actually, in the end of that Bristol race, lost about 3 positions as she overshot the corners, smashed the outside wall. Still got a good run out of it, but it could have been better for her. She actually could have been ahead of Troxel in the points if that didn't happen. But now it's back to how it was before that. I mean, she's had a great season so far, 3rd in points, but right now, a lap down here at Martinsville. Not at all what we expected after she won the first 2 races of the season. A tough break for a lot of these guys who are a lap down. They just were at the back of the field and did not have enough time to complete their pit stop. Zidell, another one of those guys who I expected a lot more. I mean, his teammate Matt Tuck has done an excellent job this season. Zidell's kind of been on the opposite end of that this year, though, and had a solid run at Bristol. 18th in the points coming into this race, but he's going to fall back after this one, no doubt about it. Now, this is going to be interesting because Troxel going to be behind Mass here. It's going to be a lot harder for him to pass these guys because they're a lot faster than Brian Webb. And we'll have to see if they slow down that 62 machine and if Braden Perez can close in. Matt Tuck, though, he's flying up to third now for the 54 as he gets around Nicholas Samedillo. Joey Hightower here in the 24 up to fifth as they all got around Trey Wright. Battle here, Ladovic Charette falling back a little bit, and this is for 10th as Blaine Keys looks to have some speed. You know, at Dracoan Racing Enterprises, it almost seems like one car is fast and the other one is slow. And that actually seems to be the case for a lot of these teams, interestingly enough. Pacific Racing and Hamill Racing Enterprises, I think, have been a bit of an exception to that. Of course, for Hamill, tonight, it has not been good at all. Dylan Matthews, 29th, a lap down, and Echo Evans Ross out of the race after what I would presume be a crash damage issue. But, it's been fascinating to see this season how it's all gone down. Here comes Samedillo, and I think there's no better example of one driver being good and the other one not on the same team than Appalachian Motorsports. Samedillo has been lights out this season, albeit a couple of bad runs, and Logan Williams was actually flip-flopped last week at Bristol, but Logan Williams 29th coming into this race. His teammate Nicholas Samedillo 4th in the points. They have really had a big discrepancy between the two of them. I think these lap cars are slowing down Troxel. What do you think, Nathan? That 23 seems to be closing in a little bit here.
Yeah, I definitely think... Okay, yeah. It was down to 2 seconds, now it's 1.9. The 23, was kind of went wide and had to slow down a little bit off turn 4 last time by, but yeah, I do agree. I think eventually these lap cars are going to allow everyone to catch back up with Troxel, and this is what Troxel needs to do. Get past these lap cars as soon as possible and make it where now Perez has to go through these lap cars to just catch up to Troxel. And if he can keep on doing that, Troxel might be in some good shape.
It's going to be interesting to see how fast Troxel gets around these guys. Skylar Taylor there won the Sprint Series race on Wednesday. Not a good run for him here tonight. There's definitely been some damage and some bumps and runs going on in this race that we just have not caught. I mean, you see damage to Crampton there. I mean, he's still on the lead lap. I mean, Chase Buck there as well. And, you know, I want to apologize again for the whole better cautions thing. You know, I would have thought that would have worked. That's why I turned it on. And apparently that didn't end up being the case for some of these guys. Now, thankfully for Matt Tuck, it did not really affect him. But for Dylan Matthews, who was the race leader before that caution came out, he rammed right into somebody. I can't remember who it was, and then had an extended pit stop, and that completely ruined his night. So, yeah, it's on, but it didn't trigger at the right time, and that's just the way it goes. Hey, something's going to trigger here up front. Braden Perez is closing in on Troxel as Troxel's got double wide lap traffic ahead of him. Both Skylar Taylor and Rogaldorn are already a lap down. They do not need to be racing him, but right now, Braden Perez is glad they're racing him because he's closing in. He's within a second now of the race leader.
Braden Perez really wants to go to KFC with a trophy in hand here tonight, closing down the number 62 of Troxel, who is still stuck behind him, as here comes Samedillo and Matt Tuck as well. I think Samedillo still can't count him out for this one. Same with Matt Tuck in the 54. And now here's the real challenge. Can these guys in second, third, and fourth get past these lap cars faster than Troxel can? Troxel's still struggling.
Well, Troxel's got to get around them first. That's the big thing. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Roberto Crown Jr. They're going for sixth now here on Trey Wright. Oh, just as I said that got a little edgy. And thankfully they keep it clean. But a great run for Roberto Crown Jr. I hope they can close it out. They need it, and I feel like this team's going to be a lot better if they can just get some things to go their way. They're closing in on Brian Webb again in the 13. He's off the pace here, and he's going to go multiple laps down. Troxel able to get around him, and Perez unable to get around Christian Master. So this is where things get interesting, as Matt Tuck got around Samedillo there. We have so many different passes going on here. We just really haven't been able to keep up with it. Perez going to get around his teammate there, Brian Webb. I'm sure Perez would love to get around Master, because if he can do so, he can close up the Troxel. And now Matt Tuck up to third, and he's significantly ahead of Samedillo now, so this 54 is going to have a good opportunity at possibly stealing this race win away, getting his second win of the season. He's only won once. That race win was at Auto Club. He's come close so many other times, but Hasn't been able to get it since that Auto Club race almost 2 months ago. Brain Perez won Phoenix as caution is out.
Oh, no.
Not sure who it was, but it's going to jam these guys up. And the nice thing about this is they're going to be able to make it to the end. I'm wondering, see a little bit of smoke right there. These guys trying to figure out where they belong, respectively, on the racetrack. But top 4 going to come down the pit lane, and this will do it for pit stops here tonight in the STP Old Dominion 500. Thomas Troxel leading this field. You got Braden Perez there in the 23. Matt Tuck, Nicholas Samedillo, Roberto Crown Jr. Great run for them. They're now top 5 after a little bit of shuffling going on there. But a bit of shuffling going on back in there. Just can't figure out what position they belong in, I don't think.
I think the 13 might blew up.
Yeah, Brian Webb. Yeah, and they got stuck behind Brian Webb.
Oh, no.
Fitzwater and Parton were already kind of in the back of the field there, and Yera was already a lap down. But let's see what our pole sitter does here on the pit lane. He's going to make that look easy. Braden Perez there, Matt Tuck 3rd, Samedillo 4th, just as they came in. They might have some lap cars in between them. These lap cars are going to come down the pit lane right here. Samedillo, uh-oh. Something wrong with the 59, or is he just trying to get around these guys here?
It's going to have to come back down pit roll. Nope.
By right there. Roberto Crown Jr. as well. They're going to have to let him by. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ooh. And right there, what you just saw is why Better Cautions is turned on. I'm glad it worked that time. Been a bit of a topsy-turvy race here in Martinsville. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the second caution before we see anything else that gives us a heart attack. My goodness. Thomas Troxel still out front here in the STP Old Dominion 500. About 50 laps to go, but first let's see what happened to bring out the second caution of the night here in the Wawa Cup Series at Martinsville. I tell you, teammates, they just keep wrecking each other here. It happened in the Sprint Series race with Appalachian Motorsports. Your team had it, Nathan. And now Andrew's racing with it. Daniel Paulus Jr. kind of on the outside. Angel Gutierrez in the middle. Elijah Gordon on the inside. All these guys, I think, are a lap down. And, yeah, that was actually very similar to the Sprint Series wreck that we had between Rutkowski and Avery Alford. And Gutierrez getting sent around there in the 60 machine there. It's the first time Andrew's Racing had actually advanced on from the Sprint Series. A great run for him on Wednesday, especially for Gutierrez. But yeah, that's the caution right there. Not much, but it's going to allow these guys to come back down the pit lane. It'll be the last stop. Of course, they're done with pit stops in this race. And it's going to be interesting to see how the restart goes here in just a moment.
We saw this on Wednesday, and we saw it here tonight on Friday night. Teammates once again, and Elijah Gordon turned the 60, and that was it. Nothing more, nothing less, just a simple spin, and that was what happened to bring out the second caution of the night, and Troxel, not what he wanted to see as the 13, I think, I blew up.
Yeah, and Drew Webb, as we kind of saw from the first accident earlier on, blew up. And kind of jammed these guys up a little bit, but let's pretend that didn't happen. Troxel won the race off the pit lane. We'll have to see what he can do on the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500 in Martinsville. We're back here at the Martinsville Speedway. 1 lap to go before we're back underway. It'll be, do my math correctly, I think 48 laps to go. 48 laps to go here in the STP Old Dominion 500. Ladies and gentlemen, and folks, this is going to be an interesting finish here in this race. They do not have to come back down again on the pit lane. We're done for fuel service and tires, and there are no lapped cars pretty much anywhere up front. Troxel still leads this field after starting on the pole. Braden Perez was coming there on that green flag run. Matt Tuck, Nicholas Samedillo, Joey Hightower, Roberto Crown Jr., Laura Chung, Trey Wright, Brad Stover, Drew Webb. The top 10 back underway at Martinsville, and a great jump there for Thomas Troxel. Will he be able to pull away here? Hightower looking on Samedillo for 4th. Great run for Hightower here tonight. And Trackhouse Racing and Braden Perez.
No.
Ooh, I don't know what's going on with him right there. I'm wondering if they thought something was going on ahead of them and they swerved, but thankfully they kept it together. Looks like a couple guys may have come down the pit lane there. Logan Williams and Sebastian Kukulon. Nobody else, I think, got caught a lap down from that cycle of pit stops. Still 26 drivers on the lead lap with Philip Torres, the last driver on the lead lap in the 85. Actually, he's on the pit lane now as well, an issue with him. So that leaves 25 guys with Crampton, the last guy, on the lead lap in the 98. But Troxel pulling ahead in the 62. Lap 80 of 125. Braden Perez here in second, but watch out for Matt Tuck. I know Matt Tuck wants to get back at Troxel for the Rockingham race. He might have his opportunity at doing that here tonight in the STP Old Dominion 500. Hightower still going after it with Nicholas Samadillo. And how about Laura Chung in the 91? Where did she come from? Up to 6 now. Roberto is 7th. Trey Wright, Drew Webb, Brad Stover, the top 10. And Philip Torres in the 85 is back on the racetrack and came out right there with Troxel. And Matt Tuck is running second now. This race is far, far from over here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Tell you what, the Roberto Clown Jr. incident almost gave us a heart attack. These guys are giving us a heart attack.
Oh, caution back out.
Caution.
And it may have been Dylan Matthews again in the 47. Rogel Dorn blew up in the 1. Tough break for them. And Trey Wright just got sent around there.
Watch out.
Really jamming up off the exit of turn 2 right there. Well, this is going to get interesting. Another restart for these guys. Troxel now still out front. Matt Tuck is now second, though, and I'm sure Troxel does not want Matt Tuck right behind him. But he's got Philip Torres in his way there in the 85 there. Braden Perez, Nicholas Samadillo, Hightower unable to get around Samadillo during that run. And I think this third caution may have been for Rogel Dorn. But as you very well know, we record the accidents after we record the race, so we really don't know what happened. I don't think I remember what happened with the first one, if we even saw that or what, but it's been a night here in Martinsville, but we expected that. This is one of those tracks where it's just all over the place, and these guys, they go a little crazy here around this paperclip-shaped racetrack. Well, Philip Torres kind of got in the way of Troxel there. That could have been interesting there, and it's going to be interesting if on this restart Philip Torres dive bombs it to the inside and allows Tuck to make a move. This could get interesting for the race win. It's got quite a few laps to go. Let's see what happens to bring out the third caution of the night here in the STP Old Dominion 500 at Martinsville. Dylan Matthews. That's coming in a little too hot. You'll see it here. I'm wondering if maybe the brakes went out. I don't know. Just completely took out Sebastian Kukul on there, and they both go flying into the outside wall. And that's our third caution of the night. And then Rogel Dorn had a piston issue right after that. I believe completely unrelated to the accident.
Yeah, missed both of them.
Yeah, so that one of Rogel Dorn, tough break for full frontal motor. Yep, right there. We thought that was actually what the cause of the caution was, but not at all. Tough break for Rogel Dorn. It's been a tough break for a lot of guys tonight, but that's just Martinsville for you. And we've seen a lot of that here tonight.
Well, we saw the Virginia Cup Series race here at Martinsville, and we saw here in Wawa Cup Series there's a dive bomb out of left field from Bill Matthews. Don't know if he had a brake issue or not, but and Kukul, as you can see, not happy about that at all, showing his displeasure. And unfortunately for Rogel Dorn, not involved in a crash whatsoever, blew up, and now, and oh yeah, and then Trey Wright got dumped as well by the 99 right there. So very unfortunate caution right there, and I don't think Kukulan's gonna be happy with Dylan Matthews after that one.
Nope. Gonna be a lot of unhappy drivers after this race, but we'll have to see if Troxel's gonna be unhappy. He's leading the field, and he's got a lap car in between him and second place Matt Tuck. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500. All right, back underway here at the Martinsville Speedway. A quick caution there, and we are going to have ourselves just under 40 laps to go in this race. Still got a little ways left to go here. I mean, we're far from over, but like I mentioned under the last restart, no need for these guys to come back down the pit lane again. They are good to go to the end of the race, so they're going to race it out from here on out. Thomas Troxel, the race leader. Philip Torres, Sprint Series driver, came down the pit lane. Lap car in between. There's actually 2 laps down, I do believe, in that 85. In between him and second place, Matt Tuck. Braden Perez is third. Nicholas Samadillo. And Joey Hightower with a great run here tonight, running in the 5th position. 25 guys in the lead lap with Travis Crampton, the last driver on the lead lap. Back underway. Good jump there for Troxel. We'll see if Matt Tuck. Oh, he couldn't find a way around Torres, and Braden Perez going to try to take second back away from him. And they're 3 wide behind them. Drew Webb, Brad Stover, Trey Wright, right around the 8th position. Great run for a lot of these guys here tonight in Martinsville. Perez to the inside of Matt Tuck. He's going to make that one work. But now this 85 kind of in the way between Troxel and Braden Perez. That was tight there off the exit. But Perez has cleared for second.
Great one for Brad Stover. We didn't see the 48 up on at all. It's a tough way for Ali on pit road. Probably got penalized for passing below the field before the start finish line. And now, can Perez get past this 85 and chase down Thomas Troxel?
Well, the longer it takes for Perez to get around this 85, the further away Thomas Troxel is going to pull away from second place. And Troxel did not have the jump initially, but kind of benefited from Dylan Matthews having his incident, and this may actually just very well go to Thomas Troxel, trying to get a second win of the season. It'll be the 3rd win for Pacific Racing, and their 2nd win in a row if they can pull it off here with Troxel, but still good ways to go in this race. Got 34 laps to go here at the paperclip. Braden Perez going to try to get to this inside of Philip Torres, and he just keeps on losing time trying to get around him. I think he might have a shot to the inside here. If he can hold on to it, can't quite get it. Philip Torres keeps on getting a good run on the outside lane. That's good. You know, Philip Torres is up to speed with these guys, but I'm sure Perez is not happy about it. He wants to get this 85 out of the way. I'm sure Matt Tuck wants to get that 85 out of the way. All these leaders want to get the 85 out of the way. And Torres keeps teasing him there as well. As a matter of fact, that's going to hurt Perez as Matt Tuck's going to find a way for second.
Matt Tuck with that damaged hood not really affecting him at all, with this being a short track damage. As long as you don't have engine damage, body damage is not going to affect you.
Oh, Perez in the outside wall. Sam Medeiros going to take 3rd away easily here from the 23. Well, the way things run right now, Troxel would easily take the points lead away from his teammate Chase Buck. Yerra's going to fall back. Evans Ross is going to fall back. But Sam Medeiros and Matt Tuck with good runs tonight, they'll probably move up into their respective positions. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this ends up affecting... Oh, no. Fisher G.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Troxel's got to be careful here. Thankfully, that 37 will barely get to the pit lane before anything else happens. Tough break for Fisher G. He's had a tough season there for Harrisville Motorsports.
Now, Matt Tuck. I want Matt Tuck to get past his A5 because I want a duel between Tuck and Troxel. But the way it stands, if this A5 does not get out of the way, it might be clean sailing for Troxel from winning the race from the pole.
I don't know how clean it's going to be because he's closing in on lap traffic already. But Tuck's losing time here, stuck behind Philip Torres, and I'm sure these guys are not happy about it. And Sam Medeiros closing in here on Matt Tuck here. And Tuck will finally open the door on the 85. 26 to go here at Martinsville for Thomas Troxel. So still far and away from clinching this race victory. But it's getting easier and easier for him as time goes on. This is a 3-second lead now for the 32. Now, he doesn't want a caution to come out now because Tuck and Sam Medeiros would be right there behind him. But only 3 cautions so far tonight. You know, nice to see it not be a wreck fest here at the Martinsville Speedway. And I'm sure Troxel likes that. As I say that, oh boy! Right in front of the leader! No caution's going to come out for that, but Troxel had the check up for him. What on earth was that?
Speaking of heart attack, we've seen a couple of heart attack close call moves. That was another one right there for the way to leader. Troxel has to settle it back down and get back into his groove of things.
I mean, he did an excellent job avoiding that 47 there. But my goodness, that could have ended his race right then and there. It happened right in front of him. But no caution. Matt Tuck might send him around here. That 47's way off the pace after getting the contact from earlier on and then that happening. But I will say, Matt Tuck is a lot closer to the 62 than he was before that happened. That shaved about a second off, and San Mateo's right there in Tuck's tracks as well. I'd love to see a battle between these three guys, because it very well, once we get to Darlington in September, Labor Day weekend for the Southern 500, we could be seeing a championship battle between these three drivers. Thomas Troxel, Matt Tuck, and Nicholas San Mateo. They're three of the fastest guys, have been three of the more consistent guys this season. And while none of them are the points leader coming into this race, they have contended for race wins week in and week out for the most part. And they're 1, 2, 3 right now with 21 to go at Martinsville. Troxel able to pull back away. San Mateo might be trying here on Matt Tuck for second.
Do these guys want to battle for second, or do they want to catch up with Troxel and then battle for the race lead?
They're going to run out of time, Troxel!
Troxel, don't
Dive bomb on Gutierrez in the 60. He's like, I'm not getting stuck behind you. He's got to be careful not to let the 60 get back to the inside of him, because he really shot it down into the corner there, but I think he'll clear him. And here comes San Mateo for second on Matt Tuck.
San Mateo's been fast all night. I think he's had a really good long one car, but it's not a long enough one. This is about the 40-ish laps to go, so it's supposed to stay green. San Mateo might have a good car to the end. Side by side for the race,
for second.
Not for the race lead.
They're still side by side. That's not good for them if they want to catch up to Troxel.
And the bad thing is that even if they do get this sorted out, they have to deal with the 60 before they even catch up to Troxel.
Hopefully they do get it sorted out here quickly, because otherwise we're not going to have a battle for this race win. Well, we could still end with a caution, though. I mean, these guys are still sliding off the corners. Philip Torres just overshot it there, and Perez got around him. Laura Chung, where did she come from? She's 5th now in this 91 machine. This is the best run this team has had all season at Everbell Motorsports, and I tell you, I'm a bit surprised by it. Great run out of Laura Chung. Hightower Crown Jr. Drew Webb is 8th. And you got Blaine Keys in 9th and Brad Stover in 10th. Mardi Gras is 11th. Trey Wright, Andrew Miller is 13th. LJ Sameto, remember, he started on the tail end on that first restart. Now he is 14th. Eric Monaco, Benny Moore, Seth Cole, Ludovic Charette's falling back a little bit here tonight. Zachary Fitzwater, Travis Crampton, Trinity Ida, Chase Buck is 22nd, and then Tanner Parton, the last driver, on the lead lap. And I tell you, we messed up. We keep on missing everything here, but it's not going to really be worth much if it's not for the race win. Matt Tuck and Nicholas San Mateo still going after it for second. This is good stuff. Even though it's not for the win, this is between two of the best drivers in the series. And it's a privilege to see it here tonight. San Mateo back to the inside to Tuck for second. I think they've given up on the race lead. Troxel is out of here. He's gotten around Kukulon as well, and now the battle's on for second between Nicholas San Mateo and Matt Tuck.
Yeah, I think these two have the... You know what? We cannot catch up with Troxel. Let's just put on a show for second place, and they have done it sadly like that, and Tuck might not be done yet for the second place spot.
I think, like you said, Nathan, I think San Mateo has a better long-run car in the 59 machine than Matt Tuck does, and I think that's really coming into effect, but it's not going to mean anything here shortly, because Troxel's got a 4-second lead now on the field here. And Pacific Racing, they came in this race with both of the drivers 1, 2 in points. They are finding speed in a lot of places, and they've kind of found, they found a little bit of something. Troxel, a little wide there. He's got to be careful not to let Kukulon get to the inside of him, because San Mateo is now getting around Gutierrez here for... Well, getting him a lap down at least.
There might be only 2 laps to go, but if Troxel ends up having problems with these lap cars, that 4-second can cut in a massive deficit.
He definitely got held up there.
Same with Theo. I'm convinced he has the best long-run car here, and this is about 40 lap green flag 1. So maybe if things work out,
there's a chance. Troxel's got to be careful around lap cars here. Chris Reynolds ahead of him there. And San Mateo's cut a second in 2 laps. Is Kukulon still in between the two of them there. But Troxel has done such an excellent job here at the Martinsville Speedway. Started on the pole. This is be 2 in a row. Not only for Pacific Racing winning, but winning from the pole as well. Now, unlike Bristol last week, Troxel did not lead every single lap here tonight, as Dylan Matthews started off initially, and then Trey Wright led a few laps there. Trey Wright has since fallen back to 12th. I don't know. He's got to be careful here, and, you know, we could still end up with a caution. We're still at the point where if we get a caution, we'll still have a restart. Sam Medio's closing in here. Matt Tuck's kind of hanging right with them as well. I just don't think. I don't think they're going to have enough. Oh boy, this could get interesting though. Troxel's got to be careful around these lap cars because they're not as solid as he is right now on the racetrack. And if he gets into it, I mean, we almost saw him get caught up there with Dylan Matthews. I don't know. That lead is starting to shrink. That 59 is coming, but it's 6 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Down to 2.29. Gonna need to gain like half a second a lap or something like that to really have a shot at, but still a great one from San Badio for a late race charge from 4 seconds to 2 seconds basically here with 5 laps to go.
I think the only way Troxel loses this race if he gets into it with Yera here or Chris Reynolds or somebody around him. But the likelihood of that is slim. I feel like Troxel's done an excellent job avoiding these lap cars, but Sam Medio's trying. He's trying. It's 4 to go. I just don't think he's going to have enough time. And you got to think Sam Medio still has to get around Kukulon as well if he's going to catch up to Troxel here. But we kind of saw this same thing in the Sprint Series. Philip Torres came close to Skylar Taylor at the end. And now that lead is 1.25, and Troxel's a little wide. I don't know. Kukulon's going to be the deciding factor here. It's 2 laps to go next time by for Thomas Troxel. Kukulon, if he lets Sam Medio by, Sam Medio might have a chance here. And 59's closing. Troxel's wide again. It's under a second now. Sam Medio with a late race charge. But it's the white flag next time by here at the Martinsville Speedway for Thomas Troxel and Pacific Racing. Oh, Sam Medio went a little wide there.
That might do it.
Yeah. White flag for Troxel here in the STP Old Dominion 500. He's wide. Did somebody get into it ahead of him? I don't think so. He's still holding on to the race lead. 2 more corners to go for Thomas Troxel and Pacific Racing. Sam Medio is trying to close in. It's not going to be enough. Second win of the season for Thomas Troxel in the Wawa Cup Series. But Sam Medio, that if there were like 5 more laps, he would have won that race.
Oh yeah, definitely. If it's 130 instead of 125, Sam Medio, I call it all night long. He had a really good long one call as the ones kept on going. Unfortunately, I think he wanted it to be a 50-lap clean flag one and not a 40-lap clean flag one. But what a late race charge right there from almost basically 4 seconds down to 0.6 of a second. Great long one call from that 59 team, but a great call as a whole for that 62 for Pacific Racing, and a great couple of short track races for that team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Troxel had the best car, but he had to fight for that one. No doubt about it. And Sam Medio was just almost there. He almost had it, but not quite enough. And like I said, if we had 5 more laps in this race, I think Sam Medio would have gotten it because he was getting around Kukulon there, coming to the checkered flag. Just couldn't quite do it. 23 drivers finished on the lead lap here today. Matt Tuck with a 3rd place run. And like I said, those 3 guys that finished top 3 here tonight may just be the 3 best guys this season. Now, I will say Echo Evans-Ross, she didn't have a good opportunity in this race after wrecking early on. And then Allie kind of fell back. I don't know what happened with her. And Chase Buck also kind of struggled here tonight. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's still not getting too much consistency. But I remember at the beginning of the season, I said around race 10, we'll start seeing these ratings come into effect. Those 3 guys, I think, may be some of the best ones in terms of adjusting the ratings, not only for them as drivers, but their teams as well. Keep that in mind. They may also be coming into effect quite a bit. Take a look at the rest of the results. We kind of saw what happened there. We knew Brian Webb, Rogel Dorn had an issue, Fisher G as well, and then all those other guys. A lot of them just got caught a lap down because of the first cycle of pit stops, and that kind of messed their nights up. But very, very fascinating race. Only 3 cautions in this race, too. It was relatively clean for a short track race in Martinsville, but no doubt the better of the two short track races that we had the past couple of weeks. We had a lot of battling going on, and San Mateo came close there, but Pacific Racing, they got these short tracks figured out. Keep that one in mind. I mean, we only really have, we have North Wilkesboro coming up, and then Richmond in the chase, but, those are the only two true short tracks left on the schedule. We do, of course, have Gateway and New Hampshire coming up on the schedule as well that use the short track chassis. It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. But Nathan, thoughts on this race and Troxel and maybe this whole championship battle as a whole? Do you think those three guys may be the ones to beat so far here in the Wawa Cup Series?
I honestly think so. I think Troxel, San Mateo, Tuck are the best three so far, but we're only 10 races in. Still got a long way through the season. And who knows, maybe the competition could catch up, or maybe those three can just pull away even more. We just have to wait and see. But a fantastic race here at Martinsville, short track racing at its finest, and Troxel with the job done.
And a great race, regardless of the fact of how it all went down there. I mean, it was a lot of fun here at the Martinsville Speedway, and we knew it was going to be. And if you thought that was fun, next week it's Talladega, and that race can really go to anybody, I feel like. Mountain Dew 500 next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG, the channel. And that one's it's a complete wild card. It is an absolute complete wild card. Anybody can win that race, and it's going to be fascinating to see because, we're back again on the Super Speedway. Obviously, we had the Daytona 500 a couple months ago. We had the restrictor plates. We'll have the restrictor plates again for Talladega, but we'll also have pit stops. We'll just have to see how it all goes down. Anyone can win that race, and it's going to be very fascinating to see how it all goes down. And, it was a great race here in Martinsville, no doubt about it. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes down. We are now halfway through the regular season, only 10 races to go until the chase. So it's crunch time now if you want to make it in and have a shot at the title here in the Wawa Cup Series. Congratulations to Thomas Troxel for getting the race victory here at Martinsville. He's only the second driver to win 2 races this season, along with Allier, who won the first 2 races of the season. And Nicholas San Mateo, I believe it's his 3rd runner-up finish this season. He's been doing a good job. But Troxel, no doubt, will be the new points leader, but you'll see the rest of the points here in just a moment. Nathan, thank you so much for joining me. It was a great race here, and we'll definitely have you on board for future races coming up here in the Wawa Cup Series. But either way, a huge congratulations to Thomas Troxel for getting the job done here at the Martinsville Speedway. Here are the points standings for the Wawa Cup Series after 10 races, and we'll see you next week from Talladega for the Mountain Dew 500. I will see you guys later!